Welcome to Film and Page. I'm Dominic, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Obi Wan Kenobi. I know I'm late on this one, just like Strange New Worlds, but there was a while there I couldn't get no videos out, but I still wanted to give my thoughts on this show. This has to be the most boring, forgettable thing, Star Wars, I have ever laid my eyes on in this series. This was one I was looking forward to, but I kind of figured it was going to be what it ended up being. Because the idea of doing a story about Obi Wan Kenobi in between episodes 3 and 4 to me always seemed like such a pointless thing. In my opinion, there is no story there. He's just hiding out until, A New Hope. And after watching all the 6 episodes, it felt really dragged out, but it felt there was no weight to anything that happened in the episode. So we have Obi Wan Kenobi, who kind of comes back out of action because I think it's Reva. She is one of the Inquisitors, and she wants to destroy Obi Wan Kenobi and bring him out of hiding. And so she kidnaps Princess Leia because she thinks there's some kind of connection between Obi Wan Kenobi and Bail Organa, so it works. And Obi Wan Kenobi has to rescue Princess Leia and all that, but it all seems like there's no weight to any of it. It's all a pointless exercise because Obi-Wan Kenobi's not going to die. I knew Reva wasn't going to die, and then she was going to eventually turn good because she's a new character. She's a woman of color. She's not going to die. Princess Leia, she's not going to die. Obviously, she's in New Hope. Owen Lars is not going to die. His wife is not going to die. Luke's not going to die. And then they piped up this big battle between Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi as just like a cool thing to watch. It was cool, but it has no weight to it at all because it's a pointless fight. Because in Revenge of the Sith, that's the battle that ends up where Anakin gets his body destroyed, that you heard about for years and years and years leading up to that movie. So you want to see, how did that play out? How did he get inside that suit? So that's where the point of that battle comes in. And then again, when they meet in A New Hope and they have their final confrontation, well, they haven't met each other since that climactic battle. So, and you don't know, if you've never seen Star Wars, you don't know Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be killed off in that fight. So again, the one in the middle, that nothing really can happen to either character, so it's like a pointless exercise. It's a pointless fight. The whole series is just, there's no weight to it at all. I thought it was really I thought it was just, I don't know, I watched it. It wasn't, I don't know, I just couldn't really get into it, to be honest. And I watched it, and then I didn't care about it. Now, there were some things I liked about the series. It was cool to see Ewan McGregor come back as Obi Wan Kenobi. I have to admit, it was cool, and that's the only reason I did watch it. It was cool to see Christian Haydenson come back as Anakin in the few flashback scenes and stuff. And it was cool to see him inside the suit when he got the mask cracked open and you could see his eye and stuff like that. And I kind of liked when he was talking, you could kind of hear Christian Haydenson's voice along with Vader's voice because his helmet was messed up, so the voice was malfunctioning. That was cool. The little girl that played Princess Leia, I thought was really good as Princess Leia. Reva was okay, but she was kind of bland villain. And not only was she she looked really bland, like the design of the character was really bland. They should have made that visually more interesting, because usually the villains in Star Wars are visually the really cool characters. And the other thing, the whole idea of Reva and the whole idea of the Inquisitors is something that... This is something about Star Wars I've always had that was always a bone of contention for me. I never liked the idea that there were other Jedi and other Force users running around between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. I've always imagined it that the only 2 Jedi that survived and the only 2 Jedi left out there is Yoda and Obi Wan Kenobi. And then now Luke is the Jedi they gotta rebuild, that they train, and he's got to rebuild the Jedi Order. It's like Ahsoka Tano. Like, how come she didn't help in the rebellion? Why? There was this powerful Jedi out there, and she didn't help with the rebellion. She didn't help Luke take down Vader. It just seems weird to me. I never really was a fan of that. So I'm not, right out the gate, I'm not a fan of these Inquisitors or anything like that. And yeah, it was kind of slow paced. I mean, it was like episodes went by and nothing was happening. There's only 6 episodes. And apparently they're going to do another season of this, apparently. So I don't know what they're going to have happen. But yeah, like I said before, that was the biggest downfall of this whole series, where it's like sandwiched in these major events. You really can't do anything. And it was like restricted, because every character in the 6 episodes is like a boxed in character. You know their fate. You know what happens to Vader. So nothing bad is going to happen to him. You know Obi Wan Kenobi's alternate fate. You know Leia. So what was the point of it? To me, it just felt like a really pointless show, where they could have done something else. Anything else would have been better. And I think this is the thing with Star Wars overall. They're really stuck in this time period between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. This 20-year gap. They seem to be stuck there. Or just like The Mandalorian, just after the events of Return of the Jedi. They got to get out of that. Either go way into the past or go way into the future. So you can tell brand new stories, so there's no canon violations. You can create new characters. And you have a lot more freedom to do what you want than what they're doing with this series. But yeah, it was, and there was like just stupid stuff in it, like that made no sense. Like their first battle they have, Obi Wan Kenobi and Vader, and I thought this was so dumb. And they fight, and Obi Wan Kenobi's like running away from him, and that didn't bother me. I kind of got it. He's in this series, his confidence is kind of broken and things like that, and he's not like his normal self. But Vader has the chance to kill him, so Vader's like burning him alive. He lights those weird crystals on fire, and he's burning Obi-Wan Kenobi alive in this mine pit. But then this robot droid that moves really slow pulls him out and then starts carrying him away. And they can't stop that. The stormtroopers and Vader can't stop that thing. Like Vader can't use the Force just to pull that thing apart and kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, why did he let Obi-Wan Kenobi escape? Like, that made no sense if he wanted to kill him. I thought that was the whole point. He wanted to destroy Obi-Wan Kenobi, so why let him live there? When later on we've seen how powerful he is with the Force, because he stops a whole spaceship from taking off and rips the side of it right off using the dark side. So like there's so many things in the show that didn't make sense. And Reva's plan didn't make sense to get close to Vader because she wanted to kill him because he killed all the younglings, but it made no sense. It was a bad show. It was really bad. And I don't know. This was the worst one, I think, so far of the Disney shows for Star Wars, like the live action ones. I haven't seen any of the animated ones, but you know, I really, really liked, that was like set a pretty high benchmark. I really liked the first season of The Mandalorian, and even the second season was pretty solid. Boba Fett was pretty good. I didn't mind it, but I thought it was kind of a little bit on the boring side. But it was a lot better than this. This is by far the worst one. This is the worst live action one so far for Star Wars shows on Disney Plus. So whatever they're going to do in the future, I don't know. But one thing I did enjoy seeing in this show was it was cool to see Liam Neeson come back and play the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. And apparently he was supposed to come back as a Force ghost in Attack of the Clones. I remember reading that years and years ago, that he was set to come back, but he couldn't because he had gotten into a motorcycle accident. I had heard that or read that somewhere. And that was one thing about the prequels I was always a little bit disappointed in. I always wanted to see, at least in Revenge of the Sith, some kind of a scene where Qui-Gon Jinn's ghost would appear to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So even though we got it in this series, not in the prequels, it was kind of a cool moment there at the end when Qui-Gon Jinn appears to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that's now they can do the Force Ghost thing. Which before the prequels, I just figured all Jedi could do that once they died to turn into Force Ghosts. I didn't think this was anything special that Qui-Gon Jinn invented, but apparently it kind of got retconned, I guess, with the prequels. But I don't really know how I like that idea. I kind of like the idea like it's just a trait of the Jedi when they get so powerful, like Yoda's level. They kind of, when they die, they just turn into Force Ghosts. But George Lucas, I guess, wanted to explain why Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi disappeared when they died. And Qui-Gon Jinn didn't. He just got impaled, and that's it. He's gone. So yeah, I gotta say this is a really disappointing show. I didn't care for this one at all. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will see you at the next one. I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all in helping this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded.